Welcome, students, as we prepare for another episode of DC Graduates. I'm one of your teachers, your Dr. Recommended Dose of Nerdiness, aka your Nerd Today, Carlos Rodriguez. And as always, I am joined by my teacher in crime, Sly. Sly, how are you?
My life's the best. Everything's great. We're vibing. It's fine. We're here. We made it. We arrived.
A normal
That's what
episode.
matters.
That's how we got here.
Yeah.
It's a normal Monday night for all of us all around. But a special thing about tonight,
Cheers
though,
to
is
that.
yes, cheers. We have a special guest lecturer today with us. So if you can introduce yourself to the class, Eric, take it over.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for having me, guys. My name's Eric Slater. I'm a podcaster and author. I'm involved in a few different things, but most relevant to this show is I'm a co-host on Comic Zombie podcast. So thanks for having me. This is an awesome show. Longtime DC fan here, so this is my jam,
Much appreciated. We love having guests, and I'm really excited to have you on the show and talk about Wonder Woman Bloodlines 2019's feature. Before we get into everyone's directed, Eric, I believe you told me you've seen this before. You own it, right?
Yeah, so I own a few of these DC animated movies. I've been following them since they came out, and I definitely wanted to support this one because like they have this happily doing movie. So whenever something that man support, but yeah, of Wonder Woman as a character. So that this was like, yeah, definitely gonna grab that one. Speaking of that, though, I just wanted to mention real quick. I watched your episode on the 2009 Wonder Woman, and I disagree a little bit with some of the takes, but
Fair.
like I do understand that there is some cringe in there, and that's totally valid.
Yeah.
It was funny.
But
Like,
I thought that one
all
was
the time.
pretty
Like,
good
you're fine.
overall.
Yeah, you watch our Creature
So,
Commandos episode. It's like we're like both coming at each other. Like we both understand where each other's coming from, but I liked it.
Right.
Sly did it. And it was like, I understand. Totally understand.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's funny. I think I mentioned it on that episode too, that like that movie in 2009 played better, with some of the jokes and everything like that.
It definitely hasn't aged as well, for sure. There's a few things in there. It's like, man. I mean, I love Nathan Fillion, but like some of the dialogue was a bit
It's
much.
honestly, he's pulling his weight in that one. Like he's helping along with some of that. Any other actor with
I feel
those
like
lines,
less is more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Steve Trevor, you can do that, but like pull back a bit. Like, you know what I mean? He could be a flawed character, but he shouldn't be obnoxious,
Yeah.
And I think they just went a little too far with it. Which is unfortunate because I think if you can get past the Steve Trevor of it all, it's actually a really decent animated movie, decent Wonder Woman movie.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what your guys' thoughts on this one are.
Yeah.
We'll get into it, obviously.
I've never seen this movie. This is my first time watching it, and I was really excited because I think, as you mentioned, like with the DCAMU, it's so Batman centric, and we talked about this 2 episodes ago. With the reign of the Superman and also the death of the Superman 2 weeks before that. It's like, man, it's such a breath of fresh air, man, just to explore a little more of this DC universe. And listen, are the Batman stories we're getting good? Yeah, those movies are good. It's just every movie we're getting has Batman.
Right. I mean, there's been some heavy hitters too, like the Dark Knight Returns was such a great adaptation. I mean, obviously we're getting into the connected movies now. Yeah.
So and even those, like in this season that we've covered, like there's so much Batman. I was shocked when we covered Judas Contract for this DCAMU season.
Yeah.
That there wasn't Batman somehow in it.
Everywhere.
Like you
still need to watch that one. That one's on my list.
It's it's surprisingly decent, and that was a moment of clarity. You saying you're a DC fan, you will understand. Like that was a moment of clarity of understanding Tara more as a character. and
Oh,
her
okay,
her
yeah.
victimhood. Like, because I had like a revelation midway through. It's like, you can watch the episode as well.
Yeah.
YouTube.com/point of progress. But
It
I was
really
like,
clicked for him.
it did. And you guys see it in
Yeah.
real time, because I was like, oh God, why are we saying that, Tara is like, she's acting like such an asshole, she's being such a bitch to Gar. And I'm like, oh God, she's trying to
But
kill
it's coming
everyone.
from
And
somewhere, right?
yeah, and Gar's
Yeah.
like, oh, she died a hero. I'm like, man, fuck this motherfucker. And then at the end, I was like, wait a minute.
She's traumatized.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, that can inform a lot of that, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
it was rough, because I was like,
Yeah.
damn, like, oh, I like it. And then we also agreed that like Teen Titans on Cartoon Network did a better way of adapting that
Oh, yeah.
storyline and making
Way
her
better.
like also no
Right.
weird sex stuff, which is, thank God.
Why?
That's why, right? Why? It's unnecessary. But yeah, for me, this was my first
Oh,
time watching
man.
this movie, and again, I was, I like to see how I come out of it when we have the end of the discussion. Yeah, I think that's gonna
Sure.
help my view of this movie. But it was a breath of fresh air starting the movie and be like, oh, no Batman. And even for a second, when they were like 5 years
Yeah.
ago, when she's showing up the US, I'm like, if you show me the goddamn Justice League fighting Darkseid again, I will lose my fucking mind.
We've only seen clips from that battle in how many movies?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So real did really like what they did with Justice League War. I thought that one was pretty decent.
Yeah.
But then again, I am a fan of the New 52 stuff. Not all of it, but some of it I thought was actually pretty strong. One of those
Mhm.
titles
Yep.
I really gravitated towards was Brian Azzarello's Wonder Woman title.
Oh,
I don't know
so
if
good.
either of you guys read that one, but
Yeah,
I
I
thought that
stuck with
one
that.
was
I think
really
Carlos.
a good run.
I believe I stuck with it to the end of his run, like when he finished up. I think it was really
Yeah,
good. I
yeah.
think making her a god
It's a
of
good
war
arc.
was good. Yeah, I think there was a lot of good decisions. The art and my God, fantastic for
The arc
for
is
that one.
amazing. Yeah, was it Cliff Chang, I think?
Yeah, Cliff Chang. Yeah, Jesus. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
that
great
has a
stuff.
great story. Also, like clothes wise, like her outfit in that is amazing. New 52 outfit is really
Yeah,
good
the
there.
redesign was, I think, really, really good.
Yeah,
The
thank God we
outfits in
got to
this
see that.
one, I kind of liked. What did you guys think?
Yeah,
'Cause
that
she
was
has a
that.
couple different.
That was one of my earliest notes, is when you see her rebirth slash BVS suit. Was like, oh
Yeah,
shit.
the armor.
Yeah, I was like, I love this.
Yeah.
I was so excited to see this. And then, she comes to America and is like, I made my own costume. Like, don't do that. Don't do that again. No, no, thank you. No, no, leave
Yeah.
art. You have perfect armor. Just wear that all the time. I don't understand. It's not ceremonial. Just do it. Just
Yeah.
wear it.
Yeah,
I
yeah. I don't know why they.
I've not liked her costuming in this universe until this episode, and I really liked that beginning armor. I thought it looked great on her.
Thank
It was
God they
the
came back.
perfect
Yeah.
blend of like practical and looks good and like
Mhm.
classic imagery. And then we
Yeah,
got
and it
that
fits the
America suit,
character,
and I
the
was like,
imagery, the
"Ugh,
iconic.
why
Yeah.
are we back here?"
Right, that was one of my complaints about because that's the suit from Justice League War, right?
Yeah.
And it
Yeah,
makes sense that they had to do that to
Yeah.
tie in, I guess, because it was like,
right.
but like I wasn't a fan of that look, but that again, the armor was great. And I'm glad they brought it back by the end, you know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
My only
'Cause
thought
yeah,
process with
that
that
was awesome.
was that maybe now that, quote unquote, I mean, we'll do full spoilers, obviously, the whole episode. We want you to watch the movie and then come back and listen to our discussion. Or if you just want to listen and then watch the movie, I don't care. You're here already. You're too late. You can't leave. You can't turn off your phone or
You're
podcast or
trapped
YouTube.
here.
Sorry. Um, at the end, she proclaims herself the, champion of Themyscira. I wonder if there was like a mental
Mhm.
like load for her to put that armor. It's like, I don't really deserve it. Like, I stole it. I wasn't supposed to be here, all this stuff. And they
Mhm.
even talk about the games
Yeah.
at the end. So I wonder if she's like, I gotta earn it. We don't see it, but like maybe she does the games to earn her right to wear it. So I did like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank God. And of course,
It's a nice little touch, yeah.
it is a nice little touch at the very end of this this universe. It's like, God damn it. It's like we barely get this
Yeah.
suit. Like, hopefully it's the suit that she has for the next movie, our final movie that we'll cover this season. But before moving on to some of the stats for this movie, Sly, did you have this your first time watching this? Right.
Yeah, and because a peek behind the curtain. We scheduled this super last minute. So I did watch this movie yesterday, 30 minutes past my bedtime
I was looking at
for
your
the
notes. I was like,
first time. And my notes are a little unhinged.
Oh God. That should be fun.
So we'll see how this goes.
that was me. Like I had a lucky 4-day weekend where I was able to do like a lot of
Mm.
stuff in my life, in like personal life. Like I got
Yeah.
stuff ready for other pit projects. You know, me and Sly talked about this. I scheduled everything with you, Eric, you know, a little behind the scenes, you know,
Mhm.
inside baseball stuff. And like I had
Yeah.
off today. So like I woke up, got my son ready for school, had him out the door, sat down, had breakfast, started watching a movie. I'm like, I stayed up way too late last night because I watched Hard Eyes on Netflix. Not a ad. I really like that movie. I want people to see Hard Eyes. And I was like, oh shit, I gotta wake up early. I was like, I'll start watching the movie first thing in the morning. They'll keep me awake. Man, I was dying. I was so sleepy. And that's not anything against this movie. I was really enjoying my time with it, but god damn, I was
Sure, I
tired.
understand.
I had to take a nap halfway through to finish the movie. Had some coffee, some like a bigger breakfast. But moving on, we'll cover history class first. This movie was directed by Justin Copeland and Sam Liu, written by Margaret? Yeah, I guess that would be Margaret Scott. Now I see it and you said it. I was like, okay, there it is. Yeah, Margaret Scott. Studio as always is WB Animation. Stars Rosario Dawson, Jeffrey Donovan, Marie. So you got put
Avgeropoulos?
Thank you. Adrian
I don't
Seymour.
speak Greek. Why did you ask me?
I don't know. You speak more languages than I do. Cree Summers, Courtney Taylor, Nia Vardalos, which that got me all hyped because I'm a big fan of My Big Fat Greek Wedding. And Constance Zimmer. I always have this little joke for us, or at least for myself only. And
For you only.
And anyone who's watching One Piece. Where is it streaming? I put, as always, the mythical island at the end of the Grand Line called Laugh Tale. Because God forbid Max, HBO Go, HBO Now, whatever the fuck it wants to be called, doesn't have this goddamn movie on it. Who cares?
What is that about?
Fuck David's ass off.
Okay, here's the thing. Is it used to be, because another peek behind the curtain, how I get most of the assets for all of our like graphics and shit is by searching name of the movie and then Max, because it pulls up these beautiful like high res like images of the like posters in the perfectly like landscape format. So it does exist on some version of Max. We just can't watch it.
They just had to hit the button. That's it. And David Zaslav's like, man. And David Zaslav already knows.
What's his deal, man?
I don't fucking know, man. He's
power hungry.
Like,
I think honestly that's really what it is. Because look what he did at Discovery. Like do you guys remember growing up with Discovery Channel and like watching shit and like, hey, this is really informative and like really fun. What a fun hour television. And now it's like just random shit that they have on there. It's like,
my first thought was oh god, what's it called with Parker? The Gold Rush? Gold something. That's the first thought in my brain when it comes to Discovery.
There was like, honestly, when I was a kid in the 90s, there was a show called like Movie Masters or Movie Sun where they show you the behind the scenes stuff for movies. And like I would spend hours watching. Yeah. I'm like, that's shit that was like really fun. And now it's just like fuck David Zaslav. That's the whole point of this.
It's all like reality TV stuff now, right? Like it used to be like documentaries, like nature stuff, and it's just not what it is. But yeah, no, Zaslav, I don't know what he's doing, but like he needs to knock it off, man.
No.
You know, like we actually care about this stuff, and he clearly doesn't, you know.
No, he doesn't. He has so much rich
history.
I
still have hope though. I have hope for James Gunn's Superman. So
I do. I think it's like one of those weird things where you see the vision, right? You see him being like, all right, well, it's smart. Let me give James Gunn this universe. Let me, I'm a wrestler.
He just needs to be hands off. Like,
let me put some money AEW.
Do his thing.
Yeah, something like that. So like, let me do like these little things that maybe could help people. I'm giving them the reins and see if they, sink or swim. I'm like, All right, but at the same time, why did you take all the Looney Tunes cartoons off of Max? Why did you not release The Day the Earth Stood Still? You know, this new Looney Tunes cartoon movie that got like rave reviews. Why did you shelve Batgirl? Why, you know, why?
Exactly. Like we deserve to see that movie. Like the creators put a lot of work into it. You know, like I mean, they deserve that to be seen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love. He was like, it was a bad movie. I was like, you know how many bad DCEU movies I watched? Fuck you.
Yeah, I've seen them all.
You don't get to make that choice for me, sir.
Speaking of giving other people the reins, we are going to hand over the reins to our guests for our next segment. Will you give us the plot recap written out here?
Oh, sure. Yeah, let me pull that. Witness the legendary origin of renowned Justice League member Wonder Woman as she fights for good with her sword and magic lasso. Equally strong in body, heart, and will, she makes it her mission to help a troubled young girl enlisted by a deadly organization known as Villainy Inc., whose criminal members have their sights set on invading Themyscira, Wonder Woman's paradise home. The battle will be epic, because if there's one thing an Amazon knows, it's war.
Usually these are written by like fun, like peer contributors. This one's straight up from Amazon. Fuck you, Andy Jassy.
Fuck you, Jeff Bezos. I don't even charge, but fuck you. Eric, can you hit us with those comic book characters as well?
Sure, yeah. So in this one, we have Wonder Woman, aka Diana, Princess Diana, Steve Trevor, Silver Swan, Etta Candy, Hippolyta, Dr. Poison, Julia Capitelis, I hope I said that right, and Veronica Cale.
Also, Cheetah and Giganta.
Also,
but like they're barely in the movie.
I was gonna
also
say.
spoilers, as it has Medusa in it too.
That as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love how like Hippolyta and like Ares and fucking Medusa are now comic book characters, and you know, not characters from a real religion or anything.
I mean, listen, there's like there's not enough of them. Who cares? Same thing with Norse mythology.
So I don't know for I've always kind of been drawn to the mythological characters, so like Wonder Woman, Thor, all that. Just something about it, because in a way, I feel like comic books are kind of like modern mythology. So in a way, it's kind of building off of that. You know, clearly there's differences, and you know.
I do love,
Like, I think you guys mentioned this.
I was gonna say I have also Superman over here, and I love his like little battle with like Samson.
Oh god, that one's great.
I love that issue, and that chapter is like so good. Just him and Samson going at each other.
Morrison did an incredible job with that entire story. And he weaved in a lot of stuff. There's so many layers to that one.
Yeah, I do like
what books do I have behind me?
It is funny though for Marvel and DC to be like, hey, we've made all these things at the same time though. Norse mythology right there. Yeah, Loki's right there. Like, let's talk about Loki. And it wasn't until like modern age where it was like I'm a little more of a tragic character. He's not really that. He's a dick, not that much of it. You know, or like little things like this. I do like when they flip some stuff on it. Like Hercules in DC sucks. Hercules in Marvel, fucking awesome. Like the comic books, it's this big bear
definitely
of a man. I love him. He's so funny.
Shout out to Heracles.
Also, it should be Heracles, right? Yeah,
right. Yeah.
Like I know you guys mentioned that before. I totally agree. Like if you're gonna use the Greek names, stick to it. You know,
and they
or
I love
just
it.
do
They're
the
like,
Roman names, but pick a lane. You know,
yeah, pick one.
An
ounce of consistency. It drives me insane.
And here's Stanley. Anyways, like I stole from Jack Kirby. I don't
railroading us. Speaking of creators,
so my bad.
We're gonna jump into our Andrea Romano roundup because we're basically already there.
Yeah,
so shout out Andrea Romano. We love you so much. You're the queen. You're the best.
We named a whole section after you. You know what? Let's start. Yeah, since we are on this topic of talking about like Greek and mythology and all this stuff, let's talk about the legacy of Wonder Woman herself. Because we didn't really tackle that last time. We talked about like kind of some other topics considering, with her. We didn't talk about this specifically. So we'll start with our guest, Eric.
A lot of legacy there.
Yeah. I mean, she's super important, right, to the DC comics in general. And I feel like it's more George Perez around the 80s is when they started taking it serious.
Yeah. So there's definitely a long history there, and I think she's very important in like pop culture as an icon and all that. The whole feminist symbology and all that. But it wasn't. Yeah, I think it was George Perez's work that really kind of elevated the character and kind of, they started taking her a little bit more seriously and doing something interesting with her from there on out. But yeah, she's like, to me, a cornerstone of the DC universe. She's part of the Trinity, as they like to call it. It's Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. And I'm glad that the more recent stuff has kind of been, kind of putting her up there with them a little bit more, in the movies and all that, because for, like a long time, she was like, oh, and there's also her,
Yeah.
But, she's kind of more taking center stage these days, which I think's great, But yeah.
No, I agree. It feels like
there's
it's
definitely
like the Shiler
an
sisters.
interesting history there. Was that?
I was like, it's like the Shiler sisters song in Hamilton. It's like, like she's Peggy. Like, and Peggy.
Yeah. God,
she would be an Angelica, actually.
I could talk about that
Wait,
for 3 hours.
hold on. Yeah, now we have to cast the Trinity as the Skylar sisters. Okay, Eliza is Bruce because of his propensity for falling in love with evil women.
Okay.
Like I said, I feel like
that tracks.
I feel like Diana has to be Angelica. Badass.
Yeah, honestly.
Takes
Angelica,
her legacy into her own hands. Unfortunately, that makes Clark
Peggy,
Peggy. He's just there. He's perfect. We love him.
Sure.
He's just there.
And he dies. And he dies. It's like Peggy.
He gets better, but
yeah. Unfortunately, unlike Peggy, he gets better. That's that.
That was our brief musical theater tangent.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, the legacy of Wonder Woman is so interesting as a character, because like as somebody who grew up socialized as a girl who very much does not identify with that, I never really latched on to Diana as a character because she was very much like this idea of that current time's wave of feminism, of the like very strong, very powerful, but also capital W woman, where they were really leaning into all of the tropes of femininity of the time to make her like, you can be strong and a girl, which like I guess had its place at the time. But I think we've evolved past the need for that. And so like this is a character that I think is really interesting because like who is this targeted to? Because when we look at the majority of the makeup of comic book readers when she's coming into prominence, they're not trying to get more like girls and women readership like that. That's not their target audience at this time. So like, how was she crafted for the male gaze, and how does that affect her portrayals now? And we've had some incredible women writing her, and we've gotten some really incredible Wonder Woman stories. But I think she's such an interesting character because she has such a strong legacy and roots in this like fake, like faux Greek mythology of the DC universe. But also like who she is as a character has evolved so greatly over time, and the type of stories we see her in has evolved. And I really like what they were doing with her here in a way that I haven't really loved in the rest of the DCAMU, because they've really been leaning into this like awkward naivete of like she's incredibly competent but doesn't understand anything about socializing with people, which doesn't make any sense to me if you're
I think
growing up on
yeah.
Themyscira. But I think we see a real competence in the like emotional intelligence from her in this movie in a way I
Yes.
really liked.
Which I think is like key to the character, like
Yeah.
that's when they get the character right, that is kind of her core, right? She is
Mm-hmm.
very empathetic, she cares about people. That's her motivation, right? Um, and so I'm glad that they got that right. And I think Rosario Dawson, by the way, does a great job with the
Oh
character.
yeah.
I I thought it was kind of funny that she played a supporting character in the previous one.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting. But
Mm-hmm.
no, she does a great job with this character consistently. And what was I gonna say? Oh, the her awkwardness, her social awkwardness and all that. I guess it's because it's like kind of a fish out of water story, right? Because she's not used to the real world, I guess you'd call it. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
always found that funny. But I like that you could tell that they're drawing from history, at least in the DC AMU, where like she has been in this world
Mhm.
for 5 years. She had a relationship with Superman. She's has this friendship with
Mhm.
Etta that, you can tell is like loosely like set up in this movie, but like they set it up enough where you're like, you see her 5 years later, like, yeah, you guys understand that they're friends. And,
Yeah.
and she has this closeness with Steve that, it's not romantic until now in current, after,
Yeah.
her and Clark break up.
Let's
But
talk about
yeah, I know.
it.
Well, I guess in a way it's a little bit better than what they did with the previous one where she falls in love with him instantly despite him being a total
Yeah.
jackass. In this
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
one, he's a totally different character. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but like it did feel like something was kind of missing. Like he needed something. I don't know. What did you guys think of Steve in
Yeah,
this?
not the
Like
goatee. I mean, that's what he did not need.
right.
He did
This is
not need that
weird.
guarantee.
Like, who the fuck are you? Fucking
I
Oliver
was like,
Queen? No, get the
okay,
fuck out of here.
Oliver Queen.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Yeah. Like you're white
I have
man
so
with
many feelings.
blonde hair and blue eyes and a goatee, sir. That's already taken. You cannot be Green Arrow. Okay, you're not.
Mhm.
You do all his shit already. Like, stop. Don't
Yeah, that's true.
shave.
But
You
yeah,
look.
no, like this whole the whole relationships of it all. First of all, Wonder Woman can just be powerful and badass, and I know everybody wants a love story. But uh, I've talked about it so much, how much I hate her and Clark together. The only way it works if it's like the Golden Trinity, where all three of them are together in a relationship. You have to have the
Oh, bat
counterbalances
soups
of
and
all three. It's the only way it
oh,
works.
okay.
I hate the idea of Diana and Bruce together. I hate the idea of Diana and Clark together. Uh,
He
Super
wants
Bat is
to
fine and perfect. I have no notes, but but
just
if
ship them all
Diana's gonna
together.
date either of them, it has to be both of them. I am glad they broke up
Get some
so that I
interesting
could.
drama there. I don't
Yeah, right.
know.
So good.
I would watch that as a show.
Listen, if
Yeah.
Scott Summers, Emma Frost, Jean Grey, and Wolverine can figure it out,
Yeah.
Right.
why can't
Perfect
Superman, Batman,
Yeah,
and Wonder
polycule.
Woman?
my mind went right there. I was like, this sounds familiar.
Mm-hmm.
I really hate the insta love aspect of so many of her stories. It's a trope that you
Yeah.
have to really commit to doing for it to land for me, and that's like really only in like super over the top ridiculous cheesy like erotica that I think the insta love works. And that's not what they're going for here. So I really don't like it
Yeah.
when that's their story, but the way that they've known each other, it's like friends to lovers, they work well together, they understand each other, and are now coming together. I wish they could have done that without Clark being in the way.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, I really like their relationship in this one, which was surprising for me because I usually don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it worked. I
Speaking of
think,
the
yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut
sorry.
you off, Eric. I was gonna say,
No, you're good. What were you saying?
I feel like it worked really well now in this universe, especially like the characterization that we have with Steve in this. him being a little more diplomatic, not being so. Even Chris Pine's version, who it's the 40 or like the 30s, like he's not even overbearing compared to Nathan Fillion's in 2009. Again,
Was
no
it
shame.
1917 or something?
Yeah, some
with
shit like that.
Steve?
Like, you would be like,
Hold
oh,
on.
I get if he's a weirdo, but then no, he's not. He's not at all. Like he's like ever so slightly like, oh no, this is how it is. Men just do all. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. No, you go ahead. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of random shit in there, but I did like the
I
characterization.
kind of like
here.
the Chris Pine version. I think that
I don't
the
mind it.
2017
Yeah,
one. I think
yeah.
they did a pretty good job with that version. But
And that is the only like kind of nitpick I would have was the same thing similar to what Sly was mentioning, that quick love story out of nowhere, kind of deal. Like it felt really fast.
It's a trope,
but it is a trope for a reason. Obviously, that was my issue again in this universe with Superman and Wonder Woman. It was so quick, and then
they like
even
instantly
more,
hook up, right?
Yeah, it's even more egregious seeing that like she has like a couple days in like the USA, and then like Darkseid attacks, and then she goes like, "Oh, this big himbo, I'm gonna mount that." It's like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah,
Steve. I mean, okay. I think this is the second guy you've seen ever in your life. I got you. Okay, I got you.
yeah.
Okay.
Like I know why they like it was interesting. I think when they did in the comics, and I was okay with it because it was kind of an alternate universe take, right? Because I do like Clark and Lois together. I feel like that's meant to be, right?
Yeah.
But it was cool to see like a different take on it. But like in the animated movies, they never really had time to develop any of that.
No.
They weren't going to do a Superman Wonder Woman movie, so what's the point? Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, you have nothing to kind of justify this relationship. I mean, at least in the New 52, even though a lot of the comics with them as a couple didn't really work, I will say that Superman Wonder Woman limited run, where he eventually passes away, that wasn't too bad. That's like the only time when I was reading comics at that time, I was like, this actually, like, I feel better about this relationship right now.
That storyline with Zod and Feora and stuff, like that was pretty good. That was
the whole nuclear explosion. Like they had some great imagery, some great like back and forth, and like they kind of played off like a good relationship. But that was like the only time, other than Kingdom Come or some other universe where like, or Injustice, where like,
that's the other exception. Kingdom Come, that.
Oh wait, hold on. I have another visual prop.
There you go. Yes,
it's the other book.
The book. Hell yeah,
right
yeah. That's like the only time it really works is that relationship, and it makes sense. Like it's not even like thrust upon. It's not like a big talking point in that, but it is nice.
I have one more comic back there. If you say anything slightly related to my boy, I will whip out.
Kyle Rayner?
No.
Okay.
No, I finished that. It's on the finished shelf.
Oh, yay.
Oh, nice.
It's the book that I pre-ordered and then forgot about that it existed.
Yes.
That's in the family Robin lives.
I forgot about that one. Yeah. I do like, I feel when we're talking about the legacy of Wonder Woman, I wanted to touch upon this, is that I feel like any media outside of comics has been doing the heavy lifting when it comes to Wonder Woman, right? Because you have that Linda Carter TV series in like the 70s, and that is such a touchstone on so many people. And funny enough, now for me as an adult and very left leaning, and seeing so many people, like so many older women that I know in my life, talk about that series and how much it meant to them. You could tell the people who really got the message of Wonder Woman that Linda Carter was telling.
Yeah.
And then you can tell the other people who were like, oh, this is cool. It's like She-Ra and all this other stuff. Like, you didn't really pay attention, did you?
You didn't get it.
I understand you got the lasso and everything. Like, I get, I'm a Wonder Woman fan. Yeah, you're not really reading into the character. Media literacy is the thing. I don't think Wonder Woman supported your choices the way you think she would. Just say.
I have a whole rant about this, but I'm not going to get into it. So I am going to plug the second most recent episode of Author's Notes on the Fic List podcast, where they talk about dramaturgy and fandom and like what it means to make art in a capitalist hellscape, and the people projecting their values, thinking that their favorite creators condone them. And go listen to that podcast. It's basically all of my thoughts.
That sounds good.
That sounds really good.
Very good
Yeah.
episode.
It is. I
Hashtag
will say there's
relatable.
somebody I
Yeah.
walk by
Yeah.
and I see their office and I see the Wonder Woman stuff. And I'm
Definitely
like,
link that in the Discord.
yes. Yeah. And on our episode. I see their office. They have Wonder Woman stuff. I'm like, I think she'd be disappointed in you. I'm not going to tell you that. I'm going to keep walking, get my coffee for the day. I think she'd be disappointed in your choices. Moving on. But no, I think I think that series did a lot of heavy lifting, right? Because there's so many people who it's funny, it's such a touchstone. Like my mother-in-law,
Well, it's like
loves Wonder
Batman
Woman.
in the 60s. Like a lot of people knew Batman because of that show, even though it's like the cheesiest possible version of the character. Like that was what people knew until like Tim Burton's version came out, you know?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that with Wonder Woman. Like most people just kind of go to the Linda Carter version. And now we're finally getting like more of a modern take on her in media, which is great.
Right.
With little touchdowns, she still does like the spin and like it's cheesy, but it works. It's so uniquely Wonder Woman because of Linda Carter. And I feel like the whole time, you know, between that and then obviously you get the comic, right? In the 80s, we talk about this comic revolution that we have with Frank Miller writing Batman, giving him more of the edge back. You know, even though Denny O'Neil was
so
there,
many good books,
you know, pulling the weight in the early 80s and the 70s, trying to make him more serious. Frank Miller's the thing that takes him over the top. You know, you get Mark Waid, you get all these writers in the 90s making Superman.
Mark Waid is one of my favorite Superman writers.
Absolutely.
Birthright.
Goosebumps.
So good.
You just mentioned it. I got goosebumps.
Yeah, like literally.
But it was similar to George Perez. Like when they relaunched that series post Crisis, and they took a little more seriously.
It was
like,
huge.
Yeah, and there was so many random shit they were doing with Wonder Woman in the 70s and early 80s. They were like, she knows karate. She doesn't have powers. They didn't know what to do
with the character. Yeah,
exactly.
They made her like a spy. They got rid of her out. Like they completely changed it. Like to
it's like,
the point
we
where
know she's important
anymore. You know,
it's like we know she's important, but we don't know how to write for her, which is insane to me. And like, can you imagine if you just had a woman writer back in the day, be like, "Yo, I can write her."
That's
like
a single woman in the room.
Any single, just one.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's important.
And then you have the 90s where it is this weird flux period, right? You know, there's a lot of good storylines, weird storylines. You know, there's No Man's Land, you know, which is, I remember liking it as a kid. I don't know if it'll hold up today. You know, there's a lot of weird stuff in the 90s.
I don't think it holds up.
I was gonna say, I don't think it
there
would.
is a really great, there's a great adaptation. I actually have here by Greg Rucka, the book. I thought did a really good job with that storyline. Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's a novelization of it. It's actually even better than the comic was.
Oh, that's great. Because even, I mean, look, Rucka pulled a lot of work, you know, a lot of his work's being used in Wonder Woman Bloodlines in this movie. But like to the 2000s when we started giving her a little more of an edge back, I remember like a pivotal point for me and what recontextualizing who Wonder Woman was partly the Justice League animated series and Justice League Unlimited, but as well, that definitely. Infinite Crisis storyline from Jeff Johns leading up to that when she beheads Maxwell Lord to stop Superman from killing. Like, I'm sorry, she snaps his neck. And it was one of those moments where it was one of those moments where it was like comic fans were on message boards and everyone's talking, and you know, Wizards, you know, magazine is talking about it, and we were like, this is a big event. It was like, oh my god, Wonder Woman, how could she do it? I'm like, how could she not? She's a warrior. And then you start thinking about her.
She's a literal warrior.
Yeah, you start thinking about her. Like, if anyone's gonna fucking kill somebody, it's gonna be Wonder Woman. You know, it's not.
Batman
she doesn't do it all the time.
Rule.
Yeah, she doesn't do it all the time. What? Because you guys were friendly with this
motherfucker?
No,
of course not.
Like, no, he manipulated all you guys for years. Like, no, this motherfucker needs to die. He's too strong. Yeah, you know, it's all these things. And like, that was a moment where it's like, wait, hold on. Wonder Woman is badass. Let's sit down for a minute. Let's think about this. And then you start seeing, you know, Rucka's work where he's doing it. And like, oh, wait, people have been putting work in Wonder Woman comics that we have not been realizing because DC is always in some weird flux about writing for it. Now, we've been very lucky, you know, since the new 52.
Whole different story now.
Yeah, since Rebirth. I mean, that Tom Taylor run recently, like I've seen
Rebirth was pretty decent. Yeah.
Yeah, they've done a really good job of turning the ship around when it comes to writing Wonder Woman. And now it's not just, hey, we understand how important Wonder Woman is, but we don't know how to write for her. It's like, hey, we understand how important Wonder Woman is. We need to make sure we have stories to match how important she is and this DC universe
Yeah.
as part of this trinity. You know, she is equal parts one of the three main members of you know, of DC. We need to incorporate this. We need to make this a thing. We need to treat her with as much love as we treat Superman and Batman. I mean, Batman gets a little more love, but
Absolutely.
he makes most of the money.
She's a
for,
legacy
unfortunately.
character.
Yeah.
It's like, to me, it's not just like she's obviously important to DC, but I think she's important to comics in general, just because,
Oh yeah,
you know, kind of,
she's one of the like
representation, right? Like,
pivotal characters when you think of like the history of comics and who are the faces, who are the pillars. She
Yeah.
is like up there for DC. Like obviously Batman is the literal titular character of DC Comics.
Yeah.
yeah,
But
definitely.
when you think of like who are some of the top superhero characters, you ask an adult who was an adult in like the 80s who they'd be able to name. She's up there, and that's a big deal because like we didn't have the saturation we have now. Everybody's an MCU fan or has seen at least one MCU movie at this point, right? Like the culture and the atmosphere in which she became a pillar of this entire industry was such a different experience, and to not give her the like respect and storylines and uphold her the way we do the men, frankly, is a little bit disrespectful sometimes. So I'm always excited when they do her well.
Yeah, so it's good to see that it's kind of changing, you know.
Yeah,
but just like with Batman and Superman, they don't always get it right, you know.
Oh yeah,
I mean, look at Wonder Woman 1984. I was about to bring that up. Like when you have, and like that under that lens too, and this is the unfortunate thing when you have such a male dominated, you know, medium that is comic books or a lot of entertainment, unfortunately, the vocal minority are these like douchey dudes. They're like waiting for something to fail. And God forbid something doesn't catch the way you want it to. Like I try to enjoy as much as I could of Wonder Woman 1984. I think Christian Grey was an inspired choice for Cheetah. I think that was not a bad choice. I think it was good. It's like, hey, I know she can do serious. She's never done action, so give her a shot. Why not? I know she can do comedy. The CG was just weird in that fight, so that was a downer. You had this like up and coming, you know, he's older, of course, but at the time, up and coming actor that is Pedro Pascal. They were like Maxwell Lord, like, oh, that's a super important character. As you know, this actor, you know, who's up and coming, as it's like this is gonna be cool, and like it doesn't really land the way it does. So, like, there's like a lot of weird choices in that movie, and where like
that's what it is.
Yeah, it is like weird choice after weird choice.
Like I thought it was entertaining for what it was, but it wasn't what it should have been. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
like
I think
like I didn't hate it like a lot of people, but it just wasn't what it needed to be.
No, and I would have been down with a third, you know, if the DCEU was going to continue and they were going to do a third Wonder Woman movie. I think giving Patty Jenkins and, you know, everyone a chance to be like, hey, we fucked up. Let's see if we could bring this back around for the third time and like right our wrongs, you know, fix this ship. I was down with that. You know, that's the unfortunate thing here.
They got cold feet though, the producers.
It is. It's the second though, like a women led movie got cold feet because we see her one other time, and that's in Ezra Miller's Flash. But like,
oh god,
we never got like
so she's probably the best part of that movie. Like her one
honestly,
scene, you know.
Yeah, it really is. But like we don't get much, you know, we have so much Batman stuff, and Batman can fail and they can go against the grain and like, fuck yeah, Batman. It's like, what?
Yeah. And look, I love Batman, but like, calm down, guys. Like,
it's
like
he's a little
oversaturated, you know?
Yeah,
like,
it's a breath of fresh air that DC, you know, this new DC universe is starting basically with Superman. Like, it's a breath of fresh air.
That's how it kind of should be.
It really should be. And
he's like the comic
That
both
makes sense,
characters.
right?
Yeah.
You know, and I get it. I'm an uber Superman fan. I've
and
said
they
that
have
plenty
to
of
get
times.
this right.
Yeah.
If they
Mhm.
don't get this
Yeah.
right, the DC universe is dead. I
They
hope
don't
not,
get Women
but
of
like
Tomorrow right, I'm going to
That's the
be
other one.
so
Yeah.
fucking devastated.
Yeah.
I'm
Had to.
so excited about that movie. I loved that run so much.
Yeah. That's our first two.
Oh my
Like, you
god,
know,
the
when you're
fact that
thinking
they're
about it.
pulling from that, I
Yeah.
think is a good sign because that's one of the best. It was such a good comic, so I'm really excited for that one.
It's so
Mhm,
goddamn good. And that's a good
Yeah.
sign, for a James Gunn led universe that to be like, hey,
Mhm.
what are
Yeah.
we gonna do first? Obviously, everyone wants Batman. We just saw Batman
Mhm.
so many goddamn times. We just
Just
saw
saw.
Aquaman.
Yeah, I'm
We
okay
just saw
waiting a
Flash.
second. I
Let's
mean,
wait on these characters.
yeah.
Also, you want to see Batman movie? Check out Art Patz's, fucking, Batman movie. That's fucking fantastic. That's a different universe.
very good.
Check him out.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
the Batman.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
a great movie.
Not
So-
Matt
the
Reeves.
Batman.
That was
The Batman 2024 or whatever
was
it
it
is.
21 or 22?
21? I don't know.
It was 2021.
Yeah.
But the Batman to me will forever be the 2004 animated series, The
Oh,
Batman.
the cartoon.
Let's
Yeah.
fucking talk about
Don't
this goddamn-
overwrite that history.
Let's talk about this goddamn show.
I
But
love the show so much.
I mean, I
will
watched it
mention
when it
every
came
episode.
out. One of the
watched
things
it.
I liked about that cartoon, I'm sorry I keep getting off track, but
Yeah.
I did like the villainry designs. I thought some of those were pretty
Yes.
cool.
That's true.
Yeah.
No,
That
Bane's pretty cool looking.
janky ass lanky
Yeah.
Riddler with his giant ass
Yeah, the
hug.
creepy Joker, with
Mhm.
yeah,
with
it
the
was,
dress.
it was a choice, but yeah, the dress. I mean, it was kind of cool though. It was like if you're gonna do something different from Batman the Animated Series, which to me is
Mhm.
perfect, you
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
have to do something different.
I will
and that was
say,
a way
though,
to kind of
yeah, they did have
Yeah.
the best man bat design I've ever seen. It was just good. It wasn't weird. It was just good.
yeah. But yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, DC
No,
fan, so I can
no.
talk about all this stuff. Sorry.
No, I agree. No, it's just funny when we're talking about these comics, these things like that. Like again, I feel like we're talking and it's coming to the crux of the fact that we had a Wonder Woman movie and you don't want it to fail. And it's also, we got 84 that failed. And it just brings out these douchey guys. Like it brings out these douchey vocal
Yeah.
minority people who are like, see, these movies suck. It's like to equate it to
Yeah.
something else. I don't like Ghostbusters with Kristen Wiig and everyone. That's not they're not the problem.
But
The
it's not
writing in
because
that
of-
movie
yeah.
is sucks. Like
Yeah.
the writing sucks.
Well,
The fact that it's
yeah.
all comedy and not like a little bit of horror, a little bit of adventure
That's
in
the-
there.
Mhm.
That's the thing. It
perfect
feels like a
cast is given,
spoof.
so
It
that-
doesn't
yeah.
count to me, because they weren't taking it seriously,
Yeah, and it's
but
not
it
their
wasn't
fault.
because it was not at all
Yeah.
because it was an all female cast. That was not the issue with the movie.
But that it just gives these horrible fucking people like that leeway, especially when it
Yeah,
came
it gives
in
them ammo.
84 is like it's like, oh, they like the movie. It's like not because of anyone that's in it. It wasn't written well. But
Well, I didn't
Yeah.
like people in it because they're horrible pieces of shit. But that's a
I know what you're talking about.
one.
Yeah, fair, very fair.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about the Wonder Woman, but we have not talked a lot about this movie.
No, funny
which is
enough.
kind of on track for us.
Fair.
But I do. I
My bad.
You're good. It's not you. It's us as well.
No, because
I do wanna
anytime
say,
we get
I
the
have-
second to talk about a character, we're like, let's sit down
Hashtag
for 45
ADHD.
minutes and talk
Yeah.
about this character.
I have
Yeah,
3 gripes with
I'm
this
here for it.
movie.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
One of them gets kind of
Definitely.
resolved. I really didn't like Diana getting like disowned at the beginning of
Oh,
this because
I hate
first
it.
of all there was 0 setup.
I hate
They
it.
kind of got me back in the end. Like I was like,
Plot
okay, I see what you were
reasons.
going for. I think it cheapens her being like the representative of her people, this ambassador character. Whatever, fine. My biggest gripe with this movie was that scene where Vanessa's in her bedroom and then Diana walks in
Oh, the
and
shoes?
puts her shoes on the
Dude.
bed? What the fuck?
Wow. Yeah, I was like thinking the same thing because I feel like
Really?
universally,
Huh.
I didn't write it down, funny enough, but like I
I
feel like
lost my
universally,
shit.
like that would have been a thing. Like I could see like young Diana putting her fucking like Roman sandals on her fucking bed, and Hippolyta would be like, hey, what the fuck? Who the fuck do you? Whose
Yeah.
house do you think this is?
Fair
Alice,
enough. Yeah.
put your shit
That's a good
down.
point.
Fuck out of here.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah, like
my
even if she's not familiar with American culture, like still, like that's just
I
like,
feel like that's a
what are you doing?
it transcends culture. Like, don't put your dirty
Yeah, I
shoes
think you got a
on
point
the
there.
clean
Yeah.
bed.
like how dare you? I was so upset. I didn't write it, but I was so upset. I was like, God damn it, I forgot about that. Yeah, Hippolyta is one of my biggest gripes in this movie, and it's not. Cree Summers
Mm.
does a great job. I was like really excited when I heard her voice as
She was
Hippolyta.
incredible.
Right.
It was just like
Yeah.
she was so cold, and I'm not used to
Mhm.
that. There's no other, I feel like, version of Hippolyta that's cold, and it's even like we talked about the New 52 relaunch. Like when they talk about her being like her and Zeus and all this other stuff hooking up, and
Mhm.
like
Oh
she
yeah,
could be cold.
she's
Hmm.
getting it on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like she's still not cold. She's so loving and caring. It was like, wait, why is one woman so caring if you're such an
Mhm.
asshole to her? Like, I don't understand. Like, you're
And like,
so
how do
mean.
you represent the ideals of the people of Themyscira if you are rejecting every presentation of like the ideals of your people in your daughter for like
Yeah.
doing what you taught her to? That
Yeah.
just
Yep.
didn't track for me. I'm like, she's literally like following like what she's been taught and like trusting her instinct and righting a wrong and like being a warrior, and you're disowning her
Yeah.
for doing what you taught her to do? I
I
just was confused.
like I love when they touch upon like the storyline with Hippolyta and her kicking her out, basically being like, this hurts me more than you could ever
Mhm.
imagine. But we have laws on this goddamn island and I cannot break them. Like that
Yeah.
makes a more interesting story, a more like compelling
Yeah.
story to watch. This was she was so cold. She was like, whatever, I'm not gonna fucking fight you. Like
Mhm.
this is like, what the fuck? Who are you? You're not hashtag not my
Mm.
Hippolyta. Like absolutely not.
I'm so glad you've gotten one of those in there because I say
Yeah.
that like every other
Yeah, it's fair. That's fair. It was like, man, the 180 of this movie would be like, I don't like Hippolyta. I love Steve. Steve was great. Like, what the
yeah,
hell?
Yeah.
what was that?
Yeah.
My final gripe with this movie is again back to the like mythology of it all. If you're gonna steal these characters, I feel like you have to do so with like an ounce of competency of like what their stories are and how you portray them. And I think they did a really good job with Ferdinand,
Yeah,
the
Ferdinand was great.
Minotaur. I thought he was great, but then to immediately
Was
turn
that the voice of
around,
Worf?
That's Worf. Yeah, that
Like
was
that's
Michael.
yeah,
That
that
was
sounded
Michael.
like Worf. Yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
dang, that's cool. It's such a bit part too. Like they
I
didn't really
didn't-
use him much, but
perfect. That's
he was perfect though.
yeah.
I loved him so much.
Good
But they
casting there.
immediately turn around and like use these like villains or whatever to like steal Medusa's body and like force her to do their bidding, and like with
Yeah.
like in the context of like who Medusa is as a person in mythology and the atrocities done to her and the way her body was used against her will, it reads really gross and smarmy for like
Sure.
these, and our villains are women. Like, first of all, like why are they the ones enacting this violence against fucking Medusa to the point where I was
Yeah.
rooting for our primary antagonist? I was like,
yeah.
hell yeah, Medusa, you go. Like, I was devastated when they
Fuck these
spoiler
Amazons.
alert murdered her.
Medusa's a tragic character. I feel bad for her.
Such a tragic
But
character.
yeah,
I love her so much.
I guess it's I don't know, like in the real world there are women that do terrible things, to other women. So, yeah,
Yeah.
and a reflection of because it's like there's like sort of like a toxic what do you call it? Um you know, corporate culture can be like very,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like kind
Like
of
the
like
girl
there's like a,
bossing your way to the sun.
yes, like that, like there's sort of that can be kind of twisted into a sort of a negative thing, you know?
Mhm.
And so I
Hmm.
don't know if that's where they were going for, but I could see that kind of being maybe the thought process. I don't know.
Yeah, it's this whole like
Like
idea of
I
like
sometimes wonder if I'm like thinking too hard about this stuff, but like, you know, like I feel like
that's
there's
what we're
maybe
here to do.
something they're trying to
Yeah.
say there.
That's
I don't know.
literally yeah.
Yeah, my question is always like, what is the line between representing the experiences of the real world and
Yeah.
like accurately portraying the things people experience, and
Yeah.
where do you create the future you want and create this ideal of a better society we want to see? And I feel like
Absolutely.
superhero media kind of waffles between the two in this idea of like being the representation of uh, truth, justice, and a better tomorrow, for a great
Mhm.
example, being this idea of like what it means to be a member of a community and to stand up and take power and fight back against bullies. Like these are all central themes to superhero media as a
Sure.
whole. And so every time they like lean into like the atrocities of the human experience, I'm like, I get why you're doing it. It's not
Yeah.
particularly what I want out of my
Yeah.
silly little cartoon media movies, but I get why they're doing it. But
Yeah.
sometimes, especially like this, it
No, that makes
really rubs
sense.
me
That
the
makes
wrong way.
sense.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
that makes
it was a
sense. Totally.
choice. Yeah, and you know, like obviously in the
Yeah.
comics, this is a pivotal fight, you know, especially in Rucka's run.
Hmm.
And they mimic a lot of the stuff
Oh
that
yeah,
happens.
yeah. I wasn't sure if we should bring that up yet, but that was actually that's one of my
Mhm.
favorite things about this is what they did pulling from the comics for that
Mhm.
ending. You
Yeah.
know,
Hmm.
Yeah, her blinding herself was such a cool if I'm
so
right,
amazing.
Eric, like we get her blind
Yeah.
for like
Yeah.
a good while, right? In the comics before she's healed.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's been a while since I
Yeah.
read that stuff, but like I just remember that moment being such like a pivotal moment. Like, holy shit. That was
We
amazing.
could never let disabled characters stay disabled.
Yeah, God forbid, right?
Yeah.
Just it could have been
God
like another
forbid.
movie, right? It could have been like I don't know, like the halfway through like the next movie and be like, hey, I know we gotta fight Darkseid and all this stuff, but let me fix your eyes real quick. I was like, oh, cool, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
can
like
we just
see
sit with it
previous,
for
yeah.
like at least a little bit? God
Yeah,
forbid they give us
Yeah.
an ounce of representation ever in superhero media.
yeah.
Yeah.
And a funny thing too, like that was one of my notes, like leading up.
Status
I
quo,
was like,
right?
are we gonna do this? Like, are we gonna adapt
Hmm.
this? And then she just like grabs one of the things and shoots the poison in her eye. I was like, oh yeah,
Directly into her eyeball.
okay, yeah, we are doing it. I was
That
like,
was
oh shit,
badass.
it was. And then
Oh
the
yeah.
I thought they pulled that off really well.
yeah, the
Hmm.
whole
And she
end
was looking
fight was really
rough in that
cool.
fight.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. The end of this movie, at least action wise,
We
pulls
like
the weight.
it's this in a lot that like all damage state. Sorry, a bit of a delay there, my bad.
Yeah,
Good.
there you go.
What were we
No,
saying?
the way like her like shoulders and her arms were all cut up and we had the blood dripping where it like
Hmm.
Hmm.
almost like blended it into like her like armor in a really interesting way, the way they designed like her like battle wounds in that scene. I thought it was very beautiful, but I also always love when we get to see our heroes like actually like real fucked up a little bit.
Yeah, and
Hmm.
it's a choice
Yeah,
she
that was really
makes.
cool to see.
You know, like it's a choice
Yeah.
that she actively is like, no, no, no. I know I need what I need to do, and this is the only way to do it. And she doesn't hesitate, really. She like is so tactical
Mm.
Hmm.
in her thought process as a warrior that she's like she thinks of all other outcomes at that moment. It's like, nah, snake poison in the eyes, gotcha. And then blind fight Medusa, gigantic Medusa at that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. That was a
can we?
choice, but it was
Can,
kind of cool.
yeah,
Kaiju Medusa.
it was fun. It was like, oh, we were gonna. I was like, we're really gonna up the ante on this one. Um,
Yeah.
can we talk about Silver Swan? Because that was a character I wasn't
Yes.
too familiar with. And then like I did a little research as I was watching the movie. What did you think about like the motivations of like her as a villain?
I loved her. You know how I feel
Yeah.
about a tragic woman villain. I loved her
We
so
support
much.
women's rights and wrongs. That's true.
We support women's
Yes.
wrongs.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of an interesting take. You know, I'm not familiar with the character either, but this was, I think, a really cool approach. You know, they kind of did the whole, you know, teenage angst thing. They played that up a bit, but like,
The
you know, it
emo
felt,
montage.
Oh my god, I love it.
yeah, like it was
So
yeah,
good.
And
yeah.
she kept the haircut as an
But like, I
adult.
kind of,
I love that.
yeah,
Yeah.
I felt bad for her. You know,
Mhm.
as her mom was like really just not attentive. You know, like she was obviously. But it wasn't like Diana's fault, but I can see why she blamed her, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So that was kinda interesting. Yeah.
She's like a ghost in her own home, and she took
Mhm.
it out on the only other person getting the attention she wanted, which is like not wrong or like not right, but we can
Not right,
understand
but
why she got to that
Exactly.
answer.
right, yeah, exactly. Yep. So I thought
Y-
they did a good job with that, like her
Yeah.
motivations.
Yeah, because it was as the beginning of the movie, I was like getting a little frustrated of like how her mom was treating Diana, but I love that Diana kept going there. Like she was actively trying to include her and
Yeah,
Yeah.
everything.
she
It's
was
just like
trying.
That was great.
Veronica couldn't see it, you know, she couldn't see it at
Mhm.
all. It
Well,
was
my
like
favorite thing
yeah,
about that was like that she kinda, you know, I mean, in a way, she was kind of the main antagonist, right? But
yeah,
like
Mhm.
Diana kinda solves the problem not by beating her up, but by basically giving her a hug. It was just like empathy,
Mhm.
you know, and
yeah.
I thought that was kind of powerful, you know.
Yeah, I mean that speaks to her character,
Sometimes
right?
you
Like
can solve D&D encounters by talking it out, and you don't have to fight your villain.
like Wonder
Yeah,
Woman
yeah, we
could
need more of
be
that, I think,
yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing of Wonder Woman. She could be the thing that will blind herself and decapitate Medusa, but at the same point, will also give you a hug. You're like, man, we're all good now. Shit, I'm fine. You know, like she,
Yeah, yeah. No, totally. That's what's great about the character, you know, I
yeah,
think. She's a
and
badass, but she's also got like a lot more going on there, you know.
yeah, you bring the Green Lantern
Yeah.
of it, you know, in the emotional spectrum. There's a reason why she's an Indigo, you know,
Yes.
or if it's not Indigo,
Yeah.
she's like specifically a Star Sapphire. Like it's one or the other because
Mhm.
she has
Oh,
love.
totally.
Not
Easily.
for everyone. She has love for everyone. It shows in this movie. They did a
Mhm.
really good job of showing how much compassion and love she has for not only just man, you know, like and just
Mhm.
normal humans, but like everyone, whether
Yeah.
it be cheetah,
Individuals, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, she cares about yeah, her villains, Cheetah. Yeah, that's a good example.
yeah. Is she
And
caring about
that's like such
Giganta?
a fundamental part of her
Mhm.
character that we don't really get represented in like movies or TV very often.
No, that is the only unfortunate
Exactly.
thing. And the most that we see that love and compassion shown, again, to go back, is that Linda Carter show is Justice
Mhm.
League and Justice League
Yeah.
Unlimited. Like that's where you see her being like
Mhm.
a
Ugh,
badass
I
and all this stuff.
love
But at the same
you.
time, you know, we had that whole princess episode where she's in, you know, espionage mode with Bruce and all this other stuff. Like that's a
That was a
beautiful
good one.
episode to show her compassion and
Yeah.
show her love. Um, I
Definitely, definitely.
I will say one of my only issues with Silver Swan, Poison, Dr. Cyber as well
Cyber, yeah.
is they're set up as this big character, and obviously you have this MacGuffin of like, we have this thing we got, we're gonna release this thing
Mhm.
we got, and it's finally revealed
Mhm.
to be Medusa, and then everything else is like, fuck you, out of picture,
Yeah.
get the fuck out of here. I was like,
Well,
I get
yeah, I
it, but
have
at the
I
same
have
time, it's like,
mixed feelings on it. Yeah.
yeah, it was like I get
I
where I get it, like she's that much of a big bad, and you
Mhm.
upped her powers by making her gigantic as well. So again, Kaiju Medusa, holy shit,
yeah.
that yeah, is it fun and does it make sense for like her to be the main antagonist at this point? But it's just the fact that in the third act, the very beginning of the third act, it's like, hey, by the way, this is the real bad guy. It's like, oh come on, man, really?
Is the
Like,
real villain. Yeah, these other ones don't really matter.
like what
It
the
was they threw a lot of villains into this one, and it was kind of cool to get some of those characters, but like they're kind of necessary in a way, right? Like they could have
Mhm.
streamlined it a little bit, especially
I
because
don't think we
Silver
needed
Swan was
6
supposed to be the
antagonists.
main. Yeah,
They were
yeah,
trying to
that
fit
is
everyone
definitely
in
an
that
issue with it.
motherfucker. That's what that was.
Yeah,
Mhm.
right. And so like in a way, again, mixed feelings on both of these animated Wonder Woman movies, but in a way, I feel like the first one was a little bit better structured because you really just
Mm.
had Ares as the main thread, and
Yes. Yeah,
that was
I
like
agree.
tied into the theme so well. Whereas this one, maybe it was a little bit muddled with like because there was like six too many things going on. I don't know.
I will say I greatly enjoyed this one much more than the previous, but I
Yeah,
think this one was just
that makes
tailored
sense.
towards me specifically.
Yeah, this felt like, especially with Dr. Cyber, or obviously we get, Veronica being revealed as the main antagonist, pulling all the
Mhm.
strings. But like
Mm.
Veronica being like the Lex Luthor to Wonder Woman, and her
Mhm.
Superman, and being like, fine, fuck it, I'll make my own legion of superheroes, supervillains. But like, it's specifically
Mm.
just Wonder Woman bad. It's like, that's it. It's like, guys,
Mhm.
there's other people. Like, I'm
I was
sure
gonna collect all the
yeah,
powerful women that are going to be a pain in your side specifically.
yeah. It was like, hey, what? I mean, Flash has some
Yeah.
women bad guys, and they just need money. Like the Rose Gallery, you just throw them a couple bucks,
Yeah.
they'll do bad shit for
Yeah.
money. That's it.
They
Like
just
just
need
one of
funding.
Golden Glider will come over.
Yeah.
Like, don't worry. Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I
Like she's right there.
don't want to see that movie now.
You're right.
Yeah.
Like there's other. Honestly, if you pay Selena enough, she'd be like, I don't know why I'm here. What the fuck? Wonder Woman? No, fuck it. I don't want this. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that'd been fun. Like, oh, why am I here? Wait, what the fuck? Do some shit like that. Like, but it was like
I
specifically
always
all
thought
the people
Poison
she
Ivy
ever
would
fight.
be a good villain
Oh
Oh,
my
for
god!
Wonder Woman.
I
Like
If you
love
do a
that,
villain
Poison
swap,
Ivy
they
that's a
so
have
good
much.
one.
technically fought before, but it's been kind of like a rare, thing, But I feel like
Yeah,
they could do a whole story arc with that, because there's a lot going on there. It's so interesting to me because Poison Ivy is one of those characters that like she is a villain, but she's as time's gone on,
But
she's
is
kind of
she?
an
she's
anti-hero.
not wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like when you consider like the state of the world, is she really a villain when you get down, she's more of an
I
anti-hero
recently
now. But she
binged
hasn't
through
changed as a
her
character. That's what's interesting, is the world has
yeah,
changed.
her 2022 run. I got
oh
through the
yes.
first 4 volumes and it
Mm,
was incredible. But yeah, no.
I gotta read that.
I think it's so good. I highly recommend. I've already talked about it so much on the show. It was recommended to me like during a recording of the show, and then I finally sat down and read it. It is so beautiful, so good. It really plays with the idea of like what are actions of heroism and what are actions of villainy, and how choosing either action doesn't make you a hero or a villain, and what does it mean to love and exist post trauma, and there's some great polyamory, and you want to throw Diana into that polycule? Let's do it. I think that'd be a great mix.
One thing I wanted to touch upon before we just give our little final thoughts of the movie, like little fun things that we wanted to discuss. Etta Candy, what a fun character, man. Anytime Etta comes
This
up,
is a cool version of her.
I
yeah,
Yeah.
loved her
every time she's just
so
the
much.
best. Like I have fun in the live action. I have fun, in this version. Like, and
Oh yeah, yeah.
God,
Live action
man,
was great
just
too.
her being like, hopefully there's Amazons that like I'm thick. I was like, we'll get to it quiz time.
Yeah.
All right, I'm sorry, not quiz time,
Oh yeah.
drama class. But man, what a line! I was like, man, I love Etta. And then at the end, she's holding like
Yeah.
she's got the two Amazons, not one,
Yeah.
two. Steve can only pull
One
one
on each
Amazon.
shoulder.
It was a little
Not Etta.
ridiculous, but yeah, it was fun.
Etta's got
I
more
loved her
game than
so
Steve.
much. I think
Apparently,
3 different
yeah.
points in my notes, I was like, I love Etta so much.
We just need a spin-off movie
perfect.
about her, honestly. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. I'd be
Dude,
sad. Day
Steve
one.
was the best. And then even Steve, like, he's not like dismissing her, but he's like, "Hey, I'm the trained pilot." She's like, "I got this." He's like, "But I'm the trained." She's like, "I got this." So he's like, "Okay."
Yeah.
There's a reason I shadily work for the government, ?
Yeah.
And have acquired this gear for you.
Right.
Ugh,
It was like this
so
Etta
perfect.
Candy's just always the best. Like I think any universe across any universe is like, what's the one concept? Etta Candy's fucking awesome. That's what's awesome.
That's great.
We'll start with our guest Eric. Any final thoughts you wanted to touch upon, shout out in this movie? Any notes?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. You know, I wish that DC would take more risks like this. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, again, Batman's awesome, but come on, give us more Green Lantern, give us more Wonder Woman. The Flash, like we had Flashpoint, which is great, but like we haven't had like a solid solo Flash outing. I don't.
We haven't gotten
right?
a single.
He does
Flash
other movies.
solo.
There's other stories. Flashpoint's
Yeah.
not the only one.
Yeah, that's the only other. So about this one specifically, though, I feel like there's other stories they can do. Like, you know, I just want more of this. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, it's not really a complaint about this specific movie. It's just why can't we adapt, you know, the Brian Azzarello stuff? You know, like do something with that. Like, there's so many good stories they can pull from that they're not. Like, you know, Jeff Johns' Green Lantern run. You know, like those stories are already written. Just, you know, animate them. You know, yeah. Sinestro Corps War?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Rage of the Red Lanterns, The Blackest Night. Like, there's so many good ones that would make amazing DC animated movies. So,
could you imagine, you know, like a
we'll
Blackest
see, hopefully.
Night? Yeah, like a Blackest Night.
Yeah, like that.
So good.
It'd be incredible. You know,
absolutely.
So yeah, you know, I'm a fan though. I thought this was a pretty good one. You know, I'd say maybe 4 out of 5 stars for me.
Yeah. Sly, anything you wanted to touch upon? Like any
So many thoughts.
Before you move on to Drama Club.
I will say another one of my I guess this is more of a minor gripe. I was so lost in the sauce of what the fuck was this timeline this entire movie. I never knew where we were in the universe. And maybe I'm just a dumb bitch, or maybe it was just not communicated well. But that was a little frustrating, me constantly being like, where are we? What's happening? Like, what point in time are we existing? I already mentioned the emo montage. Loved it. The shoes on the bed, abhorrent. That nut in Gotham killed me. Perfect. No notes.
Good line. Good line.
Okay, Coach Fence. Oh, okay. Shout out to all the Teen Wolf fans, I guess. There was one line in the movie where they said something about like the bigger they are.
Yeah.
Whatever they
like,
said,
the harder they fall, it was supposed to be, right?
But you messed it up. I don't know if either of you have seen anything about the Teen Wolf TV series.
No.
Oh,
okay.
No.
I've
seen the movie.
Iconic. The new one or the old one?
The old one, like the Michael J. Fox one.
They came out with a sequel to the TV show movie recently. It was the whole thing. Never mind. I'm not big into Teen Wolf. I don't know why I'm getting so in the weeds on this.
Yeah, you love it.
Okay. That's fascinating.
The coach character is like super oblivious to everything. And so the actor did like not read the scripts except for like his scenes or whatever. But there's this iconic line where it's the bigger they are, the bigger they are. And it's like this whole meme.
What is that?
It's like everywhere. But it popped up and I was like, okay, Coach Finstock.
It's like I love that there's something in the back of your brain that's like, fuck, core memory unlocked. Like
yeah. Then we immediately got full ass and titties out in the machine. Okay, all right. And it was perfect. Amazing, incredible. Ferdinand, my whole heart.
Oh, I
The
love it.
fact that they disrespected his dinner that he made for
Yeah.
them, I was heartbroken. I was crying in
I
the
will say
club.
that's one thing. That's one thing. Like they did all that development. Like they included the character, but like they could have done so much more with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
I will
Like
say something I
it was kind of they just
did.
come off of me.
Yeah. Something I did kind of like about there being way too many villains in this movie
Mhm.
is everybody had wildly different motivations and none of them agreed with each other. And so they were so dysfunctional in a way that I really enjoyed. Like, this is exactly how it would feel like if you're like trying to wrangle cats, if the cats are
Yeah.
all like evil supervillains who have their own like means and motivations, and you're trying to get them to bend to your will. I thought that was really fun.
And one of them is
Brendan.
a cat.
And
Awesome.
yeah, one of the and at one point I just wrote "Rip Steve, you dumb idiot," and I don't remember what he did.
Oh, it's when he looked at Medusa.
Yeah, he got frozen.
Yeah, okay, he deserves that.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all I thought.
Yeah. All right,
Like
moving.
it's Medusa, don't you know?
She
like, the
wasn't even
one
like tempting
thing
him.
about like
She wasn't even
Right.
tempting. She
Yeah.
wasn't using it like she
yeah,
wasn't luring him.
He's
He
just
just
a
looked.
dumbass.
He's a fucking himbo.
Yeah,
Wonder Woman has
he's
a
the
type.
damsel in distress.
Yeah, he really is, and he
Mhm.
plays that role so well.
He does. He
Yeah.
really does. And he's fine
He
with
just
it.
looks
He's fine.
pretty.
He is like, I'm
Yeah,
cool.
I think he's okay with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, I get a cool gun and I get to fly around the cool ship. I'm fucking down.
Yeah, like hell yeah.
I love the invisible jet. Hot
I
take.
love it. I love it. Especially this one was really cool.
It's
I thought that was
perfect. Yeah.
Like I like that it's Steve's. It just makes more sense that it's not
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
You know, because she's not
Correct.
pilot.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
it's one
does
of
make
those weird things. Like it's part of the character, but like I like when they have a good explanation for it. You know.
Like she
Mhm.
doesn't need
Agreed.
it.
No,
she
she
flies. Why does
flies.
she have a jet?
At least in the modern incarnations, right? So
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Flash when he gets a car. It's like, why?
yeah,
Exactly.
you can run faster than that thing, like
Yeah.
by a lot.
All right. Moving on, we are going into drama class, one of my favorite segments that we have here in DC Graduates, a holdover from MC University. We have 3 short scenes we're gonna do here. First one we have Steve and Etta. Eric, as our special guest, you get to pick. Do you want to be Steve or Etta for this scene?
Oh, oh, geez, I think I would butcher both of these parts, but I guess Etta.
Okay.
Okay.
Sly, do you want to be Steve for this one?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Etta, did you steal an invisible jet from the U.S. military?
Stephen Trevor, I'm surprised at you. There's no such thing as an invisible jet.
I love her so
Love her
much.
so much.
I also love that everybody calls him Steven Trevor in this
Mhm.
movie. Very good.
Like he knows he's in trouble, like constantly with these women.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Like, what did I
It's like,
do?
Why is everyone so angry?
I could
at me?
do Steve
don't
for the next
understand.
one if you want.
Yeah, I'll do.
Yeah.
I'll be Diana.
Take it away.
Okay, that works. We've got enough fuel to hover for about an hour. Let's rock and roll.
Are you worried?
Yeah, that's why I'm not dead yet.
It's such a great line.
For real.
It's a really good.
And then finally my
Gotta keep
fucking
the same too.
yeah, sure. I'll be
Alright.
Etta for this one. It's my favorite fucking line in this
Okay.
goddamn movie. Next stop, Themyscira, and hopefully an Amazon who likes them thick.
If we survive
d-
this, I can make a few introductions.
Boom. And she does. Man, I was like, you could drop Batman in Themyscira. He ain't
He
getting no
does.
play. Steve Trevor
No.
comes home with Diana.
No.
Etta, 2 goddamn Amazonians.
Oh yeah. Icon.
got more game. The closest person that any game to Etta Candy in this universe is Dick Grayson.
I buy
That's
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think Dick Grayson has game. I think he's just hopelessly beautiful and flirty, and people just flock to him.
And he's got a fat ass.
He's pretty charming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Canagli, those ashies have names.
Mm.
God.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. All right, rounding out near the end of this episode, we're going to homeroom. Our final thoughts on this. Eric, you gave your thoughts, but anything else you wanted to touch upon the movie specifically for final thoughts?
Oh, I guess this is where I probably should have talked about all the other DC animated movies they should be doing other than Batman, but I'm just going to reiterate that. You know, like, Batman's great, but there's other characters.
Yes.
Like, seriously, they've done, like, what, 30-something animated Batman movies at this point? Like, 10 Superman movies and 2 Wonder Woman movies. So let's get some other characters, you know?
Yeah, anybody else.
Let's give them their love.
He has 33 movies according to my spreadsheet where he is named in the title.
Yeah, that's easily the number.
God damn
It's a lot. It's a lot. I mean, I did think Jessica Cruz in last big one, the verse, Justice League and the Fatal Five, I think it was called.
Yes.
Jessica Cruz.
Yeah, that one was really good. Yeah, and they made her the main character, which is great because I love that character.
We love that so much.
Yeah, they did a good. we want more of that kind of stuff, you know. I think
absolutely.
That's
so. I'm looking at like there's like 13 movies in the DC animated universe. This New 52-esque like DC AMU that we covered.
Yeah,
there's 13 of them have Batman in them. It's like 90% of the movies have
like all
13 of 16. Yeah.
Yeah. And like out of solo movies, it's Son of Batman, Batman versus Robin, Batman Bad Blood, and then Batman Hush. Hey,
they're good.
Yeah.
Long Halloween, right?
That is the Tomorrowverse.
It's the next season.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, I didn't realize.
You're good.
No, but still,
no, it's
so many more.
You'll have to bring me back for that one. I have a lot of thoughts about Long Halloween.
That one has already been clipped, unfortunately.
Oh, okay, no worries.
But yeah, Slack, what are your final thoughts on this movie?
This was a great time. I had a blast, barring the whole Medusa of it all. I highly recommend watching this movie deliriously tired, way past your bedtime, with a mug full of ice cream. It's the ideal way to watch this movie.
That's
perfect.
how Wonder Woman
no
will
notes.
You know how much she loves ice cream. No, for me, I really enjoyed this. As Eric said, there's so many other characters in the DC universe that it's crazy that this New 52-esque DC AMU never touched upon most of it. You know, any solo Green Lantern would have been good. We have Nathan Fillion as like one of the best, Hal Jordans that we've ever gotten.
Yeah, for real.
Shit, he's so good that he aged out of that role, but he's still fine enough to be Guy Gardner in the fucking live action universe.
He's playing Guy Gardner now.
Yeah, he's
that's kind of great though. I think that's great.
We got Death of Superman and Reign of the Superman. Those were breath of fresh air, or even Teen Titans.
Those are good.
Judas Contract. You get this like breath of fresh air. I'm like, man, I want to know more about this universe. Give me more. Give me a whole Nightwing movie. Like, what's he doing? How many? There's a whole Chuck Dixon run you can from the 90s that you can pull from stories and adapt them into this universe and have a Nightwing solo movie. Like, where's Kyle Rayner?
Green Arrow.
Yeah,
like,
where
Green Arrow would make a great animated. Don't get me
started on Green Arrow.
But listen, he was so good.
You've activated my trap card.
Listen, we're talking about
they
like
should
peak
do a Green Arrow Black Canary movie. That would write itself. Yeah.
Oh my God, that would be amazing. Especially after that little short short that they did. With Green Arrow. Like, to build upon that would have been amazing. Like anything like that. I mean, we do get some stuff in Young Justice, but like, God, man, anything in this universe would have been good. And you
Yeah,
get
that's
this
true.
movie, you know, in Wonder Woman Bloodlines, and you're like, wow, I want another Wonder Woman movie. It's like, are you gonna get one? Fuck if I know, man. Oh, we're gonna reboot this
Never
fucking
again.
universe again. Like, god damn it, stop.
Right.
DC animated doesn't have to be the same as DC Comics and reboot every fucking 10 years. Like, stop. Just give me shit. Just give me movies.
For real.
I'm fucking done. And change it up. Again, these Batman movies been fun and good, but it's a lot of Batman and not enough Flash,
It's a
Cyborg, fucking Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, anybody
Cyborg
else.
would be great.
Shazam.
Yeah.
Give me a Shazam movie that has no
Dude.
Zachary Levi.
That works so well in animation too. I mean, we did have one, right? Sort of.
Oh yeah, the little
Superman
it's like about 30
and
minutes.
Shazam.
Yeah, it's great.
It's kind of mini movie, but it's good. It's really good.
Yeah, anything would have been like so much. It's so obvious when you get to a movie in this universe that is solo, not involving Batman in any way, shape, or form. You're like, wow,
It's nice though, right? Like,
yeah, it is. It's
Yeah.
refreshing. And then I
Yeah.
said this with our Justice League Dark
Yeah.
episode. Why wasn't Wonder Woman? I know in modern, you know, more post rebirth, like Wonder Woman's been a member of the Justice League Dark, but like have her part. Like she's magic. That makes sense. Why is Batman here?
Yeah, she kind of works really well. Yeah, Batman doesn't make sense on that team, I don't think.
Yeah, like Felix
Not
Faust
at
and
all.
Wonder Woman
And
fight.
he's barely in that movie.
Yeah,
Like,
why are you
what's
here?
the point?
And that's again, no shame in Batman, no shit on Jason O'Mara, who's doing a really good job as fucking Batman in this universe. It's just so much. It's just too much. I need a break. God damn.
I will say though, there's rumors now of a Nightfall animated adaptation. I am here for that. They should have done that a while ago, honestly.
They really should have, especially if you were doing like Death of Superman. Like, well, at the same time, why don't we do Nightfall? You know, that'd be cool.
They've done Death of Superman twice. They've done it to death. They've done
3
it
times.
in live action even.
Yeah.
It's too. Oh my god, yeah.
It's like there are other storylines. Again, it's the Sun Eater storyline. There's Zod. There's like they've done Zod a shitload of times too.
At least they did Brainiac. I thought Superman Unbound is great.
Yes, Superman Unbound is great. Yeah, I loved when we got to talk about that in that episode. Oh my god. But yeah, that's my final thoughts.
I'm so bummed I didn't discover you guys earlier. I would have totally been down to talk to some of these.
Oh hell yeah, man. Hey, listen, we still got more on the horizon.
Sly will share the spreadsheet again.
Yeah, we'll get you on the spreadsheet. Yeah. So that's my final thoughts on here. Before class ends, your homework next week is we're gonna close out this universe with Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. I believe that was actually streaming on
the season.
Max. Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
it
Thank
was
God.
last time we tracked.
You know what? Just give me 1 second. I'm gonna search because I was like, yeah, it is. It is. Okay. I was like, if it's not, I swear to God, I'm gonna lose my goddamn mind. But yeah, so that is how we're gonna end the season. Justice League Dark Apocalypse War, a huge, big movie where they are gonna reboot everything at the end. Rated R. Craziness is about to happen. Time jumps, timey-wimey shit, dark side and demons. And, oh my. I'm very interested to see how this does. Yeah. And then
I haven't seen that one, so
yeah. That's I've seen clips. I've only seen like a shitload of clips because it was like, what's going on? What do you mean you ended the universe? What? You're gonna reboot it? Like I was interested. Before we end the episode, wanted to give a quick roundabout like Sports Center style, and everyone shout out where they're from, where people can find you. So we'll start with our special guest lecturer, Eric. Eric, where can people find you?
Aw, thank you. You can find me all over social media at Eric Slater. That's Eric with the K, Slater with the D. D as in Delta. I'm on Blue Sky, so yeah, fun stuff. And usually post all my projects there. My books are on Amazon and Audible. Check out the Super Switch Club, Podcasters Assemble, Comic Zombie, all the other thousands of podcasts I'm involved in. But yeah.
Sly, where can people find you?
Once again, appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
can people find me? You can find me live on TikTok as I hit my gain, every Sunday at 2 p.m. Pacific, talking about as we hit into the summer season of network television, we are expanding our scope of network television and not just focusing on the Big Five, because the Big Five only has a single scripted TV show coming out this summer, and it's a premiere for US, but it had already premiered in Canada. It's a whole mess.
It's always
Anyways,
it's CW, isn't it?
No, it's I think it's NBC for Transplant.
What the fuck?
Was the only network television scripted series, like, quote unquote, premiering this entire summer season, which is a whole thing we'll talk about. But yeah, doing that live with JJ on TikTok. You can find me at CycloneMC, chatting all things. We'll talk a little bit more book club, fanfics, all that good stuff as we enjoy this hiatus and ramp up for the fall season of returning to network television.
Yep. Yeah, it's always some random Canadian show that, like, not saying it's good or bad. I love that in the summertime though. You're like, look at this thing. It was like, hasn't this been on already? Like, we have the internet, guys. Like, we could watch this other ways.
That sounds unique.
We found this movie a different way. You can probably watch this show, by the way, 4 seasons, 2020 to 2024. And it's now just showing up on the US Airways. I love it. God, you gotta love it.
Transplant has been around for a couple of years.
Yeah. Crazy. Oh, it has a bit on NBC for it. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'm
we
like,
just always get it delayed.
1. It's like, wait.
No.
We're getting season 1, like, 2025.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, for me, you can find me here, youtube.com/point-in-progress, where we do this show, DC Graduates. Again, I always say, if you're watching the video, go over to any of your audio sources, your favorite audio podcast source, like, subscribe, share, do all that jazz. If you're listening, go to youtube.com/point-in-progress, like, share, subscribe, all that jazz over there. We are getting ready to, or at least I am, to launch our next season of It's Not a Loop, It's Control. Finally, I feel
a teaser,
yes,
and it
teaser.
looks very good.
Killed it, as always. Mario helped me produce the show. So we're getting finally into this season 3 of It's Not a Loop, It's Control, where I'm going to finally play Control for the very first time. I took a long break in between Quantum Break and Control just so I could play some other games and beat some other games. So of course, right before the Switch 2 launch, I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? Dive into a game so I don't have any time to play Switch 2. Look at here, Mario Kart in the distance as my kids are having fun. Like, can you play with us? No, I have to save the oldest house. Okay. Right? God damn it. I'm having fun with these weird paper monsters, apparently. I think Frank told me. Anyway, that's gonna be launching soon. And then you can always find me as well on my personal feed, youtube.com/nerdaday. Nerdaday pretty much everywhere on social media, unless it's Twitter, which there's underscores because someone else has the fucking @nerdaday and I can't get it from there for some reason. Only one tweet from 2009. God damn it. But
of course,
yeah, youtube.com. You can find me there. And you know, I'm gonna try to be more active, as I keep saying, on there. I did have an episode like 2 months ago, so that's pretty good for me this in 2025.
Hell yeah.
But that is it for our episode. Eric, thank you again for joining us.
Yeah, definitely.
It was
anytime.
Yeah, it's a really good time. And till next time, class is dismissed.
Bye.